Subercase was baptized a Protestant to Jean Daguerre, a rich merchant and bourgeois who had purchased several noble estates, including the lay abbey of Subercase, near Essen. No sooner had he landed in 1687 than he set off with his contingent on a campaign against the Senecas. In 1693 he was named lieutenant commander, garrison adjutant and adjutant general. On April 1, 1702 he succeeded Monarch as governor of Plaisance, arriving at his post in 1703 during the early years of Queen Anne's War. He immediately attacked Ferryland where he learned from prisoners of a planned English attack on Plaisance with a fleet of 33 sail from St. John's under the command of Admiral John Graydon. He immediately set the town's defences in order and discouraged the attack with the help of 2 French warships. During the fall of 1704 he organized a series of attacks against English outposts on Newfoundland. With a party of 100 reinforcements from Canada and 350 of his own men, this campaign resulted in the temporary capture of Bay Bulls and Petty Harbour in January 1705 and a failed siege of the main English settlement at St. John's. Unable to subdue the fort, they set out to destroying settlements in Conception Bay and Trinity Bay and succeeded in destroying every colony, with the exception of Carbonear Island. The expedition took 1,200 prisoners, and boasted the destruction of 40 cannon, 2,000 shallops, and pillaged 2,600 livres in cash. Subercase estimated that, although St. John's remained intact, the total losses inflicted on the enemy was 4 million livres. Subercase made full use of the following lull in aggression to rebuild the fortifications at Plaisance, improve morale, and generally improve the living conditions of the residents. In 1705 he was made a Knight of the Order of St. Louis and became the governor of Acadia in April 1706. He successfully led the outnumbered defense of Port Royal against 2 failed sieges in 1707, leading several sallies himself and having his own horse killed below him in one skirmish. The fleet comprised a landing force of 2,000 men, 3,400 according to Subercase, made up of 1 regiment of English regulars and 4 regiments of militiamen raised by Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire, and carried in 36 vessels, 7 of which were warships. After a few days of defense, Subercase surrendered the partially ruined and under-provisioned Port Royal to the British, expressing to the English commander his hope of returning to pay him a visit the following spring. Subercase, accused of negligence by some officers and reprimanded by New France Governor Vaudreuil, was summoned before a court-martial at Rochefort, but rapidly acquitted. In 1711 he was offered to be sent to serve at Quebec under Vaudreuil where he could formulate a plan to retake Port Royal while continuing to be paid his salary as governor of Acadia. Subercase refused in disgust and 2 years later the Treaty of Utrecht was signed ending aggression between the French and English and ceding Acadia and Newfoundland to England for good, thus making Subercase the last governor of French Acadia.